Have you ever had that strange, persistent feeling as if your heart knows something your mind can't explain? This person, you haven't bothered to think about them, and yet they come back again and again in your thoughts, in your dreams, in your prayer. And you wonder, is this a sign? Is Allah trying to tell me something? What if this silent insistence, this discreet weight in your heart, is the answer you've been waiting for? In this video, you'll discover how Allah may have already spoken to you about this person, not with words, but with signs, feelings, and paths that always return to the same name. If you feel that this person is not there by chance in your life, stay until the end. What you are about to hear today could change your perception forever, when intuition becomes a silent response. There are moments when you don't need to hear words to understand that Allah has already answered you. Your heart begins to vibrate for no apparent reason. A person walks through your life, and everything about them catches your attention, but not superficially. It's deeper. It's spiritual. You don't know why you feel this way, but you know it's not just a coincidence. In the Islamic world, intuition isn't something mystical or vague. It's a form of perception the heart receives when it's connected to divine light. When a heart is sincere, at peace, and turned toward Allah, it sometimes picks up subtle signs, impressions that can't be explained with words, but that speak louder than anything else. What if what you feel for this person isn't just attraction, but a perception your soul received before you were even aware of it? Perhaps this person comes back to you during your supplications. Perhaps you think of them at times when you're not supposed to think about anyone. Perhaps you even forgot about them for a while, but Allah hasn't removed them from your path. So they come back again and again, and then you doubt. You wonder if what you feel is just an illusion of your soul, or if it is a direction. But in Islamic spirituality, it is known that the heart of the believer can be inspired by subtle guidance, as long as it is protected from illusion and purified from blind attachment. It is not about following your emotions blindly, but about recognizing that sometimes Allah places a light within you that pushes you to look more attentively, to feel more clearly. And this clarity is perhaps your sign. How many times have you asked Allah for a sign without realizing that He has already spoken to you in the calm of your feelings, in the discreet insistence of your heart, in that recurring thought that always seems to bring back the same name? What if that inner voice, gentle and persistent, was the reflection of a choice already blessed for you, even if you cannot yet understand it? Some signs don't shout, they whisper. They wait until your heart is peaceful enough to recognize them. For Allah doesn't always speak through grandiose events. Sometimes He speaks to you in your silence, in your emotional stability, in your inner calm. And at that moment, what you feel for that person takes on a spiritual dimension that you can no longer deny. So ask yourself this question: why does this person remain so present? Despite time, despite distance, despite your efforts to forget them? What if, precisely, it was because Allah wants you to stop ignoring what your heart has been trying to tell you for a long time? 2. When circumstances repeat themselves to wake you up. Sometimes Allah doesn't need to show you a dream or place a verse before your eyes to send you confirmation. Sometimes it's the silent repetition of circumstances that becomes the most powerful message. You move away from this person, but then they reappear through a conversation, a memory, a situation. You change paths, you distance yourself, you mind your own business. But life subtly brings you back, without you looking for it, to the same starting point. And every time you think you've turned the page, there's a strange coincidence that reopens it all by itself. You don't always realize that these repetitions are not accidental. In faith, nothing happens without wisdom. Allah doesn't orchestrate repeated crossroads to entertain you. When the same name comes up in your discussions, when that person is mentioned at key moments, or when their memory comes up when you pray for clarity. It may be a reminder you've been ignoring for too long. Sometimes you become so focused on what you think you want that you refuse to see what you need to understand. And Allah, in His wisdom, allows events to make you reflect, not with the turmoil of your heart, but with the logic of your path. This person keeps crossing paths with you because they may be part of your journey, not necessarily to a final destination, but to a lesson, a mission, or a deeper commitment. Often you make dua, asking Allah to keep you away from anything that is not meant for you. And yet, that person remains there, inexplicably. If Allah truly wanted you to be far away, He would have made it easy to forget, to cut you off, to completely break away. But instead, you find that paths cross again, that doors never completely close. This is where a true believer begins to question, not the other person, but themselves. Why is this presence returning? What do I need to understand? Am I ready to see what I've been ignoring? Repetition is not there to torment you. It is there to awaken you, so that you stop looking for noisy signs while Allah sends you sequences of life that speak for themselves. You may have experienced several phases of distance, avoidance, questioning. But if circumstances continue to subtly draw you back to this same person, it's not a distraction. It may be a delayed response, one you weren't ready to hear before. What if now you really opened your eyes? 3. What your heart refuses to admit, but your soul already knows. There's a kind of truth that doesn't come through words. It hides in the prolonged silences, in the glances you avert, in the decisions you put off. You know, deep down, this person didn't come into your life for nothing, but you keep looking for excuses to avoid facing this obvious fact. Why? Because something inside you is afraid to admit what's already clear. Already, you don't want to hear what you heard. Perhaps Allah has already spoken to you about this person, but you didn't listen. Not because you didn't want to hear, but because what you heard required courage. Recognizing that this person is a divinely directed choice also means accepting to change, to grow, to elevate yourself. And here the question becomes serious. Are you really ready to accept what you are asking for? Perhaps this person awakens something in you that you've been avoiding for a long time. Perhaps they're a mirror to your shortcomings. Perhaps they're pushing you to be better, to step outside your comfort zone, to let go of your pride. And instead of seeing this as a sign of elevation, you feel it as a threat. But look closely. Why is it that despite all your efforts to move forward, your heart remains attached to this image, this idea, this presence? Why is it that even when you physically distance yourself, you still feel this connection, this inner resonance? You can't force a heart to become attached any more than you can stop it from recognizing what Allah shows it. And sometimes that inner connection you feel with a person isn't a weakness. It's a guide, a soft but persistent light, a call to look more deeply, not at what this person represents to you, but at what they awaken in you. What if Allah had shown it to you to remind you of who you must become? What if, through it, He wanted to prepare you for a stage that you cannot reach alone? Too many people miss their destiny because they wait for obvious signs while rejecting those they already feel in their chest. The sincere heart recognizes the direction even before reason accepts it. It's time to stop running away, because it's not really this person you're running away from. It's what you become around them that you're not yet ready to face. Allah does not give you a connection without reason. If your soul has been genuinely touched, there is wisdom behind it. And you already know that this is not an obsession. It's not an illusion. Maybe it's your unspoken truth. 4. When their presence brings you closer to Allah. Sometimes the clearest confirmation is not what the person says or does. It's how you transform internally when they are in your life. Allah may have already spoken to you, not by revealing the person, but by revealing yourself through them. And that, for the sincere believer, is a message loud enough. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, when you interact with this person, do you remember your Creator more? Do you feel the need to purify your intentions? Does your spiritual discipline improve? Do you find yourself seeking Allah's guidance more often, just to know how to navigate this connection? These are not small signs. They're spiritual indicators that this person is not just a presence, they're a mirror. You see, Allah doesn't only confirm through external signs, He confirms through inner elevation. And often this elevation is silent but transformative. You start watching your words more. You become more conscious of your actions. You hold back from sin, not because of fear alone, but because this connection awakened a sense of dignity inside you, a longing to be better, to be clean before your Lord. That's not emotional dependence. That's spiritual awakening. This person might not preach to you. They might not be outwardly religious in the way you expect, but somehow Allah uses their presence to plant concern for the Akhirah in your heart. They make you want to fix your prayers. They make you think twice before acting out of anger or pride. They make you reflect more deeply about your purpose and your behavior. Isn't that already a divine response? We often ask Allah to guide us, but when the guidance comes in the form of a person who influences your character, who holds you to a higher standard, who pulls you away from darkness, not by force, but by simply existing, then that presence is not ordinary. It's not chemistry, it's not compatibility, it's spiritual alignment. And that doesn't happen often, that doesn't happen with everyone. But here's the truth, not everyone who inspires you spiritually is meant to stay forever. Sometimes Allah uses certain people as bridges. They come into your life, cause an awakening, and then leave. That's part of His mercy too. Yet, when a person remains consistently present, not just in your life, but in your inner development, that consistency can't be ignored. Ask yourself again, are you better with them? Are you closer to Allah through them? If the answer is yes, perhaps your confirmation has already been written into your soul. And maybe the only reason you're still unsure is because you're waiting for something more obvious, when in reality, the transformation in you is the loudest sign you'll ever receive. 5. The struggles that forge your connection. One of the most powerful signs that Allah has spoken to you about this person is the tests and trials that come with the relationship. Yes, you heard that correctly. It's often not the easy moments, but the difficult ones that confirm what Allah has already ordained for you. Allah doesn't test us out of cruelty. Every trial, every hardship, every challenge is designed for growth. And sometimes Allah places someone in your life to be a test, not just for you, but for them as well. The way you respond, the way you hold on to your faith in the midst of these challenges, is a reflection of your sincerity and your commitment to Allah's path. Think about the difficult times you faced with this person. Has the relationship caused you to reflect on your actions, your intentions, and your behavior in ways you never expected? Did it bring out emotions or reactions that you didn't know you were capable of? And yet, despite the struggles, did you find yourself turning back to Allah in repentance, seeking His forgiveness, asking for clarity and guidance? That is a profound confirmation. You see, Allah often places challenges in relationships because they force you to confront parts of yourself that are hidden deep inside. Maybe it's your patience, your pride, or your anger. Maybe it's your desire for control or your reluctance to let go. Through the interaction with this person, Allah is refining your character, purifying your soul. And what's even more powerful is that every trial you face together is an opportunity for both of you to grow spiritually. It's not about blaming the person or external circumstances. It's about recognizing that this relationship is an avenue of purification for your heart. When you face these struggles, Allah is offering you the opportunity to deepen your reliance on Him. You learn to turn to Him in moments of frustration, seeking peace in your heart that only He can provide. You learn that true strength is not in avoiding the struggle, but in trusting Allah through it. And just like the moments of trial, the moments of reconciliation and understanding with this person become signs too. When the conflict is resolved and you both emerge more grounded, more compassionate, more aware of Allah's mercy, you realize something extraordinary. The trials weren't obstacles, they were the means by which your bond was strengthened. It's easy to think that if Allah truly approved of this relationship, everything would be smooth and free from conflict. But Allah's wisdom often unfolds differently. His tests are not signs of rejection, they are signs of refinement, growth, and preparation. Allah prepares His servants for a future of greater success through the struggles of today. So if you find yourself facing difficulties with this person, don't despair. Don't lose hope. Instead, recognize that the struggle is part of Allah's plan to confirm what He has already set for you. Trust in the process and trust in Allah's infinite wisdom. Every hardship brings you closer to the understanding that Allah has placed this person in your life for a reason, and He is guiding you both towards something far greater than you can imagine. Sometimes, what you seek as external confirmation is already written within you from the beginning. Allah may have already guided you to this person, not so that you understand everything now, but so that you are ready to trust His wisdom. So take a moment. Think back to everything you experienced, felt, observed. It wasn't random. Maybe it was your sign. If this video resonated with you, subscribe now so you don't miss out on future posts that could shed even more light on your journey. And most importantly, share this video with someone who's experiencing this kind of inner question. It could be exactly what they're looking for. Leave a comment below. I think this message is about me. And let's see together how subtle, but always perfect, Allah's answers can be.